Something that can be common in the weight loss, weight regain cycle is binging. But what is binging? Well, the first thing to know is that binge eating is actually biologically normal. It's when we use food to increase feel-good hormones in our bodies. Binges are usually a response to stress, anxiety, past or current trauma. They can be an attempt to bring ourselves back to homeostasis. It might start out innocent and enjoyable, but it often comes with feelings of regret, shame, and loss of control. If you find yourself binging, you might also find yourself hiding what you're doing, especially because it comes with a very shameful stigma. Once the binge ends, you might feel very uncomfortable, almost sick to your stomach, after you eat a portion that might be deemed larger than what a normal person would eat in a sitting. Binges are almost always accompanied with restriction. This is the opposing response to the binge. It's compensating for eating what we quote unquote shouldn't have. It usually comes with rules, strict portion sizes, and feelings of trying to be good. People often get caught in a binge restrict cycle that leaves them feeling completely hopeless and unsure how to ever break out of it. If you have a true diagnosis of binge eating disorder, I recommend that you find a good therapist to work with, because it's important to know that binge eating disorder is an actual eating disorder, just like anorexia or bulimia, and you will need actual treatment for it from a licensed psychotherapist. There are several things we can do, however, with our nutrition to help reduce the likelihood of binges and help reduce the stress overall. Let's start by talking about foods that can help lower your stress and hopefully help reduce the incidence of a binge. I'm not going to give you specific foods to eat, but we're going to talk about generalities. In general, foods that are touched by the fewest number of hands. As you may have heard us say in these videos, we're looking for foods that either grew in the ground or lived on the ground. You can also look for something that has the fewest number of ingredients. Another way to tell if a food is going to be healthful and stress reducing is to cook it yourself or pick something that you would have cooked. Another way to identify if a food is healthy or not is, will that food spoil with time? Choosing whole, unprocessed foods will help regulate your body, and it will help regulate your hunger. Try to consume at least 3 meals a day, either following our meal plan or following our guidelines for how often you should eat. You should be choosing to eat something every 3 to 5 hours, not going so long that you become very hungry, but not eating too soon that you don't give your body a chance to burn what it's already been digesting. This is the power of nutrition. We want to calm your body before we can calm your mind when it comes to binge eating. Your body needs to know that it is safe. Oftentimes you've restricted so much that your physical body feels unsafe and unsure of whether it's going to get all the nutrients it needs. Therefore, when you are given a large portion of food in front of you, or you are presented with a lot of processed foods or very tempting things, you often might feel like you lose control. Make sure you are feeding your emotional brain as well. Is your mind hungry or is your body hungry? If it's your mind that's hungry, we can feed your mind with something else. Most people find binge eating relief with meditation, prayer, walking in nature, taking deep breaths, and working with a therapist. And lastly, when it comes to nourishing your body, we're not just talking about nourishing your body with food. We're talking about nourishing your body with foods that are also emotionally satisfying. It's a delicate balance of choosing foods that are nourishing your body on a physical level, but are also nourishing your mind on a psychological level. The more you restrict yourself from eating foods that give you pleasure, the more likely you are to binge on those foods. And that's because you've attached a stigma of shame to go with it. But when we remove that shame, that food just becomes another food. The goal of breaking the binge restrict cycle is that you choose foods that make you feel healthy. They make your body feel light, they give you energy, they make you feel how you want to feel, but you also give yourself permission to eat sweet foods within reason, obviously with bariatric surgery, but also making sure you feed your emotional side, choosing foods that are simply fun to eat, deemed more treat foods. That way they don't feel shameful, they don't feel something that's forbidden, so when you do eat them, you don't find yourself losing control with them. Try to build treat foods into your week so you can become accustomed to them as part of your meal plan.